then we decided to go into this food industry. Food, obviously, you have to have the processing plan, because you don't buy the raw material like a pig, you buy the pork. So to upgrade the current practice, we built this transparent processing factory for consumer to see. Back in the days, only professional can see it. But I think down the road, I think everybody has the right to know. Even the consumer want to know where the things come from. So why don't we start with us, having a transparent restaurant, having a transparent factory, and even opened up my nutrition factory for people to visit. Nothing to hide. So the things that you've mentioned about the factory, the processing, and transparent, all that stuff seems really odd, right? Putting all that together. But why, if someone like me or who doesn't really know the industry is doing it, it's because we don't know better. But the motive is very simple: how to get people to believe us and how to get people to understand us. That was the best thing we can come up with is by being transparent. That translates to all the work we've been doing, the restaurant setup, the processing plant setup, even the traceability for the product itself. All this comes from the whole idea is open up the best way we can to get people to understand us. In return, we hope we can get the same respect and value that we deserve. That was the whole idea. But like I said, the industry people, from the farming community to the processing community, even to the restaurant industry, that's pretty odd to do. But after 5 years of investment on building and really operating, I think we can see that a lot of people are understanding what we're trying to do now, and they respect us for it. And a lot of people actually learn from us. You can see that all the kitchen now are open kitchen, right? A lot of the restaurants, I mean, we didn't start it. We aren't the only one that's doing it. A lot of famous restaurants do that, but that's on the restaurant side. But the factories, the traceability, the government's taking notice, and I think consumers beginning to question, where does thing come from? How do you do this? What kind of thing do you feed to the animal? In what environment? Do you use drugs? Do you use antibiotics? Questions. People start asking questions, and which I think that's good, because if you don't ask, maybe you don't care. But when you start asking, maybe you start caring. That's when you have differentiation of values. But it took us 5 years.
Because it's a very original idea, right?
I cannot say original, but I kept telling people we're not innovators or groundbreaker. I cannot call ourselves that, because I've been traveling a lot. I've been to Europe, I've been to Japan and America, many places, and this is the trend that you see everywhere. That people demand to know, and people wanting to know, and eating local is the right thing to do, because food should be fresh. Having it delivered here and there through container on the boat, not only is not economical, and at the same time it's not environmental sound. So, and eating local is the freshest possible. And if something goes wrong, you can find where it comes from. If it travels from country to country, from boat to boat, airplane to airplane, it's very difficult to trace back. So it's not about me or my father or my company so innovative. We're merely trying to bring that trend closer to home and make it grow here.
But there are a lot of people who are coming to you and kind of like learning from you, from this concept. People coming from Europe, from Japan, from the States?
Heard? Yes. Actually, because my work, I mentioned earlier that a lot of my products, because they're not made in Taiwan, so obviously I have to rely on imports. And right now, Europe and America are my two largest suppliers for vitamins and mineral products. My probiotics products from Japan. So these people come and visit, and I bring them to the factory. They're like, oh my God, this is the newest thing they've ever seen. So I actually get a lot of positive review from foreigners who want to bring this concept back, because they have not seen it being done in their respective countries. So I guess sometimes being brave or being ignorant, maybe for lack of better words, is good, because you do think outside the box.
Right. Okay, wow, that is great. What feedback have you gotten about from people locally about what you're doing with this Yunlin, this creative park that you have?
This creative park was, like I said, is designed to bring the consumers or anyone who wants to know about food production, in particular pork production, closer. In the beginning, it was difficult to get people to go, because Yunlin is really in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of out there. Then word go around, and there's that place looks kind of interesting, and we do offer very fresh food there. So people go there, and some people just go there to eat. So even that, I think once they get into the facility, they see, oh, this is more than a restaurant. So they start exploring. So I think we're getting more success this year is because the design is unique at the same time. We have a pretty open space for kids to play. So a lot of family, like a weekend trip, they make a weekend out of it. And you offer pretty affordable fresh food. So you're becoming a weekend destination. And a lot of companies do retreat and outings to there as well. So I think in the beginning it was difficult getting the word to go around, getting people to take the trip to Yunlin. But word do go around, and appreciate the work that my team has put into. It has turned into itself a local must-go place. You're like, oh, if you go to Yunlin, you gotta go this and that. You know, you gotta go to Alishan, you gotta go to Jianhushan. Hey, there's a Liangzhou Gongshang you should go. You know, so I think
it's working.
It's working. It's working. I think it's working, and it also helped meat sales because the restaurant that we work with. First of all, they're a really good restaurant who care about quality.
Because you become their suppliers.
I become their suppliers. And how do you prove that you're different? I say, I don't need to prove. You just come and see. So they took the time to come out and they say, okay, now we're talking different stuff. So for restaurants who look to upgrade their ingredients, for those restaurants who want to offer a more socially responsible product, once they take a look, they know I'm being real. You know, I joke, I do. The investment may be high, maybe it was difficult running that place, but I think the feedback is positive. I think that's a lot of intangibles there. The last thing I want to say, and the most important to me, maybe it doesn't matter to the consumer or the restaurant, is that we want to make a difference for the farmers.
Okay.
Because we're using this Choice Pig brand through this Nextland Creative Park, it's really to promote a branded product. It's not just pork, it's Choice Pig. Because you buy our product, all the things that we do to make sure it is good, I can use more money to buy from the farmers. So the farmer can sell the meat for a better price, but in return, you have to do it our way.
Okay.
You have to feed the animal better, you got to treat the animal better, you have to make sure there's no residue of antibiotics, you have to make sure they're processed correctly to lower the bacteria count. All this is because the support of our customers. But maybe they care about the quality of the meat. I hope to tell more people is that it's not just about the product you get. It's the more farmers can benefit from it because we do use higher value and the money to buy in the same time use higher quality feed. And everybody knows you are what you eat, but how many people really practice that? And if you don't treat the animals right, they're not good food. It may be cruel, but it has to be dealt with and seriously. So this whole thing is not about myself or the company or the father and son want to do something different. It's because we see something as a need to be challenged or recreated. And it really coming from the producer side, not the consumer. I always tell people that. That's why we build the creative part in a way that always highlighting the production. Not so much on the benefit. Tainan region, South region have fresh beef that you can try. But as a whole, most of the beef is imported. Okay, a lot of chicken are produced locally, and pig over 90%. Or 85% that is locally produced. So obviously we are pretty strong in this regard. So if you want to try something, obviously pork is one of the things you have to try.
You did mention about Tainan, this popular dish where it's fresh beef slices.
Yes.
We're talking about raw beef slices, and you pour this really hot soup over it, and it's like a typical Tainan breakfast, right?
Yes.
And what stands out about your creative park in Yunlin, which that dish is not offered here though in Taipei, is fresh raw pork slices, and then you pour hot soup in it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so people when they hear this, they're going like, what? Because usually, can you do that? Is it sanitary? Is it healthy? Is that okay?
I think we grew up trained by elders that pork are not supposed to be eaten uncooked.
You're right,
or not fully cooked.
Not fully cooked.
For two reasons. But why does beef can? Why can you eat lamb and beef sort of medium rare or rare even? The two reasons. One is the way we process it. Because in Taiwan, we sell the meat in what we call the room temperature. So from slaughterhouse to delivery to the places, it's non-chilled. So the bacteria count is very high. Even though you might be retaining the kind of the non-frozen freshness, The definition of fresh is because it was done probably the same day from 12 a.m. to whatever time you get it, but still long hours of storage and traveling. So the bacterial count is very high.
Yeah.
So if you don't cook it properly, you may get stomach ailments. Another thing is that, but beef on the other hand is usually treated all the way through in the right condition. So temperature.
Why is there a difference?
Because beef will sell for a higher price.
Oh, that's why?
And then people want to eat different flavor of it. So if you fully cook everything, it doesn't taste as good. So just simply because that, the variety of beef was eaten in this regard, and that the value is much higher, so they can afford such process. But pork is so common that if you cook it and you don't die, it's good, right? so I think that's one of the reasons. But things have changed, right? The conditioning of the cars have upgraded, the cost of delivery have lowered, and freezing equipment and so on and so forth. And also just the people demand better. So pork like us, we from slaughter to finish is all kept in low temperature. So we don't have bacterial issues.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not afraid of serving such dish. And at the same time, parasites that can happen in pig won't happen in beef. That's another reason.
Yeah.
But if this parasite is, but the way we raise our animal no longer touch the ground, meaning soil. It's all indoor.
Okay.
So the chance of having parasite is very low. You don't have that anymore. There's no occurrence.
Got it.
Yeah. So the way of managing animals is also very different. So I can offer such product, no problem. But why am I not offering outside of Yunnan? Because again, freshness, delivery process being too long, I cannot be certain. So at the same time,
yeah, you can have that risk.
I cannot have that risk. So I offer only on a special weekend. I only offer in the weekends. Like I said, these are just innovations and things that we want to change people's perception of. We were told this, we were told that. But in fact, I've been, this 5 years, maybe because of things I've done, I've gained some attention. I really appreciate the chance a couple years back I did this TED Talk, TED Taipei. I really appreciate that opportunity as well. Jason gave me that opportunity. He said, you know what you want to do? You want to speak about agriculture. I said, would anyone want to listen? He's like, you have to, because if you don't, then don't blame people for not wanting to know, because nobody says anything.
Right.
I think that really rang the bell. So I said, okay, let me try to do it, because I appreciate that, but it's scary. But I did it anyway. I think after I've done that, good things have happened. I think people started noticing, and then I was given more opportunity to speak on the subject. So I think it's really about making differences, not only on the product side, that's a business, but it's really about perception and also understanding, knowledge. That's what consumers need. One way I'm producing product as a business, another way I'm trying to change general public's perspective on food itself. A lot of things we were told before are not true anymore. But nobody ever comes out and say that.
Yeah.
For example, chicken eggs. I've given so many talks, and it always comes back to very simple things, like chicken eggs. Do you need to put in the refrigerator or not? Do you? Do you keep your eggs in the refrigerator?
No. I mean, yes, refrigerator. I mean,
But
so
you put it in the refrigerator, right?
Yeah.
But when you bought it, it's in the
no.
chill form.
No.
And that's bad, because if it's put in the non-chill form, that means it's not washed. If it's not washed, it means there's a lot of germs on the
no,
shelf.
seriously?
And then you're introducing all that germs into your refrigerator.
Oh no.
But if you buy the eggs that's refrigerated in chill condition, that means it's washed.
Yeah.
Then if it's washed, then you have to put it in the refrigerator. Otherwise, the shelf life goes down.
Wow, I learned something today.
So there's so many things that we can talk about. So basic,
Yeah.
but no one actually talks about it.
That your younger brother is a renowned fashion designer who actually designed, Jason Wu,
Yes.
who actually designed for Michelle Obama her gown that she wore at inauguration of her husband, and also many other dresses and gowns after that too. I think Michelle Obama really supports and likes.
Really support.
Yeah, really likes your
Kate
brothers.
this time.
Kate
Yeah.
Middleton? Oh no,
Yeah.
really? Oh, okay. So I read somewhere saying that actually his success, Jason Wu's success, has really helped you in some ways.
Yes.
How so?
Maybe growing up, he was the creative one, but also difficult because a lot of misperception on him and about the family too. But because of success, which is ironic for a kid that most people have counted out, or even thinking my family going out on a limb, being crazy, raising a boy and giving him all that girl toys and support him all the way through being a designer.
Right.
All that has become as if it's the right thing to do. But I have to say, we don't know better. I mean, whether he become a Jason Wu today or not Jason Wu today, it doesn't matter to us. But because he became the Jason Wu today, it's all because of the hard work that he put into. And obviously with the support of our family. But I think most importantly, it's his own persistence. And how does that translate to positive of the family is obviously people are starting to understand who he is and begin to wonder what his family does. And through that connection, brought also the media attention to us as well. So because we're also doing a newer brand in agriculture, so I think that helps that. So getting people to understand as a family, but obviously through him being Jason Wu today, that kind of share the spotlight with him. So I think that's a positives. We learn from each other. Branding, I learned from him. Business management, obviously, we have to help him as well. Along the way, we help each other. But from a public perspective, obviously, we've gained a lot of attention because we are Jason Wu family. We don't leverage that. We cannot dispute that, and I appreciate that. But we have to be who we are. I'm very happy for my family, especially my brother, and he's very happy for us.
Yeah.
And we are pretty much really entrepreneur in our own regard, and in two very traditional sense field of business. One is cloth making.
Yeah.
One is animal farming. But we both want to make a difference. And through branding and through innovation, we want to make Taiwan proud.
All right.
Yeah, so I think that's that.
Okay. Well, like I asked most of my guests is, where do you want to go from here? What is your dream for the future? For 1B restaurant, for the Yunlin Creative Park?
Choice Pig. I think Choice Pig is the central figure in all this. 1B restaurant may be the beginning, and next thing Creative Park may be the process. But at the end of the day, it's about Choice Pig. It's about, and why did I make it Choice Pig? Because I wanted everyone to make a conscious choice. And when it comes to pig, Choice Pig is your top choice. It's for locals to be proud of, for foreigners to enjoy. And my goal is to make Choice Pig a Taiwan's pride in pork.
Okay.
So I think that's something that I want to do. Hopefully it will be something that can be achieved.
Right. Well, that sounds great. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Kevin, for this time.
Thank you.
You know, it's really great learning so much from you. And what you're doing is awesome for Taiwan. And I think you're taking the right direction, and hope all the best for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you.